Hey guys, okay, follow up after my GI appointment today. To recap, this was a brand new GI for me. My husband went with me, as he always tries to do, to be like a second set of ears and to offer his own observations as to what's going on with my health. So, we know that I've had Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, which means it's restrictive and malabsorptive. I only have a tiny stomach pouch that holds, at this point, I tested it yesterday, of a soft food, like a pudding, maybe mashed potatoes or something, maybe 3/4 of a cup on a good day. Some not so good days, only a half a cup. Solid foods like vegetables or meat or anything like that, I hold a lot less. So clearly not enough volume of food to get the nutrients I need, even if I didn't have malabsorption. I've struggled with my ferritin, which is one of the main things that they look at for your iron storage, how much iron you're storing. They look at total iron binding capacity also with that, as well as your hemoglobin, hematocrit, and then your red blood cell counts, your mean corporal volume, and all those things. Well, my red blood counts, my mean corporal volume, and a couple of other things are low. Or is it high? I think it's low. Anyway, they're out of range. My hemoglobin and hematocrit are like at the very bottom number of the range. My ferritin and ideal ferritin levels are like 60, I think. Mine is currently 45. In the past, the lowest my ferritin has gone is 7, and that's when I had a heart attack. I had a series of infusions. With every infusion, and we changed up the medication, I had worsening anaphylactic reactions to where the last one, they were stopping the infusion, injecting me with stuff. A whole group of people come running in the room because I was in an infusion center, and, my doctor was like, you can't do this. And I had already been taking multiple supplements in large quantities in chewable forms when I had the heart attack. After that, I thought, and those were bariatric specific vitamins. So then I started experimenting with different types of iron, different types of, calcium and vitamin D and multivitamins in different forms. I tried patches, I tried liquids, all these different things to try to get a form of vitamin or multiple vitamins to keep my levels in a normal range without great success. So I now have osteoporosis in my spine because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and it is best absorbed or is absorbed in the upper part of the small intestine, which I no longer have. Iron is also absorbed in the upper part of the small intestine, which I no longer have. I only have a teeny tiny pouch that does not have the gastric juices that churn up food and help break it down for absorption, mostly in the upper small intestine. Don't have a stomach like that. Don't have an upper small intestine like that. So obviously I have malabsorption. I went in to this new doctor to discuss my malabsorption. I wanted a test to determine the rate of my malabsorption, my nutrient issues, and see if we need to adjust for my medications. Now, I knew there was a test. It's like a breathalyzer test. They give you some medicine, and then you do so many minutes after you do a breathalyzer to see if there's an enzyme present showing that you're malabsorbing, and how, I guess, and I'm kind of guessing and remembering vaguely from what it said, but I guess how much of this enzyme is present is a guide to how much you're malabsorbing. If you know, there's like a range. This GI doctor knew nothing of that test, said there's no way for me to check it. And even if I did, I would have no idea how to go about adjusting your medication. Although he agreed that I'm malabsorbing medicine and it would cause a problem, but he had no idea how to fix it. And according to him, even though my red count levels, my mean corporal volume, all of it related to like red blood cells, were all off, out of range. My ferritin was not excessively low at this point. It was like 45, and it's supposed to be ideally 80. He said, you know, you're really not anemic until it hits single digits. Well, I had the heart attack when it was 7, and when it was 9, I could barely get out of bed, and I'm like, I'm trying to not have another cardiac event. So I was shocked that he assumed that I needed to wait until it was that low to do another infusion. Taking supplements does not work because whether it's liquid or whether it's a pill, it still gets absorbed in a part of the body that I no longer have. So I just basically sit and wait and slowly get more tired and pale and all of that until it gets low enough that I'm practically, you know, dead or going to have a heart attack. Then he'll infuse. I'm just like, are you serious? And he's like, check your vitamin D levels. Well, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. I do not absorb fat at all. And so vitamin E and vitamin D are fat-soluble vitamins. They come in little capsules with oil in it. That's how it's delivered. Doesn't matter because the fat goes right through me, and I don't get any benefit because I don't have that part of the body that would absorb that. And so that's why I have osteoporosis in my low spine. So he didn't think, because all my other levels from like a CBC, just a general regular, you know, blood work, and I think they did some metabolic blood panel. He didn't see anything else that was indicative that I was in any distress or malnourished, even though he didn't check any of my other nutrient levels. He thought I was fine. I was, you know, great success story of weight loss surgery, which I didn't feel was true at all. And I'm going in there thinking we need to make adjustments to all of my other medications to make them more effective because they're not as effective as they should be. And we potentially need to supplement me with a complete meal nutrition formula to give me adequate nutrition in a form that, you know, I can absorb at least more readily lower in my intestines or better. And I knew that he wasn't even going to agree to write a prescription for that to get my insurance to cover it because he thinks I'm doing just fabulous. And that was shocking. And then casually in passing, I mentioned, you know, that I have reactive hypoglycemia from the weight loss surgery. And he goes, well, what is the lowest reading you've had on a blood sugar? And I said 21. And that's when I passed out. And he just about freaked out. He goes, that's not good at all. That's very dangerous. And, you know, and he said, well, what did you do? And I said, well, I passed out. There were a whole house full of people, but everybody was on different floors or in different rooms, and nobody could hear me. I was trying to yell, but I was just on the verge of passing out, and nobody could hear me. And I had my phone, but I wasn't. When you are in a hypoglycemic episode, part of the issue is that you get very disoriented, very confused, and then you're sweaty and shaky and weak, and you know, you need somebody who is aware or can recognize when that's going on, because sometimes you are not aware of what's going on. There's just something wrong, and then you just kind of like zone out and you're not it's very difficult for you to realize what's going on and treat it. So I guess my liver kicked in with enough insulin to wake me up so I can treat it. But then I kind of freaked out and was really upset because my family was there and nobody could help me. And so that's when we put some protocols in place where my kids come and check on me regularly. My husband would check on me regularly, and I have to eat something every 2 to 3 hours because anything I eat doesn't stay with me very long because I have a much shorter digestive tract. So, but even doing that, I still get hypoglycemic episodes. I might go a couple weeks and not have one, and then out of the blue, my sugar's dropping. And I said, well, I said it doesn't always go to 21. I only registered that one time. I said, but I've had plenty in the 30s and 40s or 50s and 60s. And I kind of start noticing an issue when it gets below 70, and it's not severe, but it's like, and I don't always get the sweating and the shaking right away. I just get the extreme confusion, and I feel off, and all sounds feel like they're very, very muffled, like I can't hear, like normal, and I'm really confused, and, in most cases like that, it's almost like an automated response. I go check my blood sugar, and then I'll treat, and I've had to learn not to over-treat, because then my sugars go too high. Like if I drink too much juice or soda or whatever to try to get it down low, my sugar goes too high, and then it crashes really fast, and then I get in a cycle where I treat, it goes up a little, and then it crashes back down again. And he's like, that is not normal. I'm like, well, I thought it was normal. So now I have to go. I'm waiting for scheduling to call me. They're going to schedule a very detailed CAT scan of my pancreas. He's like, we need to figure out what's going on. And insulin comes from the pancreas. And so we need a very detailed, scan of your pancreas, check everything, every cell, every whatever. And then he ordered a blood test to check, I guess, some enzymes or something, and to check my insulin levels. He said, if it comes back, your insulin levels are high, that could be indicative of a pancreatic tumor. I'm like, well, there you go. And then he's sending me, much to my chagrin, he is sending me to an endocrinologist. Now, I have thyroid issues. I have adrenal issues. And I've gone to a chiropractor. I had a client who was a nutrition and fitness expert, and she sent me the lab and tests, urine tests and a lab saliva test to test my adrenals and my urine. And I had dysbiosis, which is overgrowth of bad bacteria in my gut. So I had leaky gut and bad overgrowth of bacteria. And then I had severe, or not severe, but bad adrenal fatigue. Levels are supposed to be in the morning, like 19. They're supposed to be like at the very high end of their scale, and mine was 5. It was almost flatlined the whole entire day. Very low. And that's why I was in bed. I was bedridden for 2 years. And it was caused from stress and overdoing it with work. And, of course, that was also making my migraines bad and the whole spiel. So, over time, I reduced my stress and, rested and to give my adrenals a break. And I did finally have a cortical stim test, and my levels were normal at that point. So it looks like I got that resolved, but I notice a flare if my stress is too high, I can't sleep, or there's like I have a surgery or some event like that can trigger an adrenal issue. I notice that I have a slight relapse or a flare of that. But since I've quit working, my stress has been greatly reduced. So I'm going to go to an endocrinologist, I guess armed with the full scans of the pancreas and the lab work, and I guess he's going to then manage me for my sugar issues. We'll see. I don't know. This doctor was the first time I saw this GI doctor. I mean, it was nice, but to not know about a malabsorption test, agreeing that yes, you would be malabsorbing this because this is where it's absorbed, you don't have it. Yet he has no solutions. It's a little frustrating. He's like, yeah, you look like you're doing good. Okay, so I went to lunch after that. I could eat 4 bites of my sandwich. That was it. And that was maybe a quarter of the sandwich. So there was 3/4 of the sandwich still sitting there. How is anybody supposed to get all of their nutrients from food when my volume of intake is so low because my stomach will only hold like a half a cup of something like that? And that's all I can eat. How can you get enough nutrients out of that? You can't. Because if you can only take 4 bites of something, and it's a sandwich, and it had lettuce and tomato on it, so I guess I was getting some vegetables, but, there's no way I could eat, a meat, vegetable salad, multiple vegetables, it just doesn't happen. So I ordered 2 cases of Kate Farms full meal replacement formula, nutrition formula, and each bottle of shake provides 33% of all daily nutrients. It's plant-based. It is gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, corn-free. It's all organic. And I've ordered sample packs previously, and I love the flavors. It tastes good. I could drink this. I can consume this. So ordered enough that I'm planning on drinking 2 shakes a day for 5 days. And then on the weekends or 2 days a week, I'll drink 1 because they come in cases of 12. And it's expensive. I ordered it off Amazon, and I got 1 case was like $42 and some change. On their website, it's like $48 and some change. So with ordering 2 cases and what little bit of tax they charged me, it was like $90 and something. And I'm just going to have to take that out of our grocery budget. So, because this is food that I need to eat. So we'll just take that out of our grocery budget and order that so that I can get the nutrition that I need, because vitamins don't work. And he agreed. He just we'll continue taking your sublingual B vitamins because that is working and keeping my B12 up because it's sublingual. And just keep doing that. And then we'll wait until everything else falls apart and gets really low. I don't know what they're going to do for the B12 and anything else. I mean, you can get an iron infusion, but I guess I go in for like a full vitamin infusion. I have no clue. I have no clue. He didn't even mention it. He got hung up then on my blood sugar issues and how serious that was. I'm like, okay. So that was my day. It was really frustrating. I don't know that I need to go back to him unless I need my colonoscopy or something, or I get more ulcers. I have chronic ulcers in my pouch, which is very dangerous because it could easily perforate because it doesn't have gastric juices in there to protect it from foods and things that I eat like your regular stomach does. That's why I got ulcers. So I guess I'll have him check that periodically and do my colonoscopies. He said my liver counts were good. I had lost 35 pounds from January of 2016 until 2017, until about 4 months ago when we cut back on some of my thyroid medications because I was hyperthyroid and having symptoms of that, so we cut that back. Well, that's great, but then I started gaining weight, And then the last 2 weeks that I've been on gabapentin, I've gained like 7 pounds. And so now I'm faced with, now today I have a slight migraine. It's only like a 3 or 4. But it's been a stressful day. And my blood pressure was up, despite the fact that I take 2 blood pressure medications. It was like 162 over like 104. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, you're going to have a stroke. But it was, significantly up from what it should be. And I was talking to my husband, and I'm like, okay, if I take the gabapentin and it works, even if it cuts down, I mean, I had 13 days migraine free, and then I have a migraine. I said, that's 13 days that I don't, and that's great. But if I'm gaining weight, then that's going to raise my liver levels, because my liver issues are fatty liver, and they're very slightly elevated. Nothing at all to be bothersome, just an indication that it's probably fatty liver, not liver disease, not anything necessarily any more serious than that, because I've had a liver biopsy and a couple liver ultrasounds, and that's all it was. But if my weight goes up, my blood pressure goes up, my blood sugar can go up, and my liver counts can go up. Is it worth continuing a medication to solve one issue that is going to flare up 3 other ones? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hate this, I'm not sure what to do. But anyway, that was my day. I'm going to get a referral to an endocrinologist. I'm waiting for the billing through the network that we go to call me to schedule me with some endocrinologist, and scheduling to call and schedule my CAT scan. And I am waiting on lab results from the lab work I had done today. And I guess all of that will be telling as to what's really going on. And I ordered 2 cases of Kate Farms meal replacement formula. Can't remember if I just said that or not, because hello, brain fog. But that's coming in the mail, and I think it'll be here Saturday. So I'll start that. And that really did make me feel better when I had the sample pack of 6. I liked the taste of it, which is a huge part of it. It did make me gag, and I can drink it. It's like 11 mils. I have to drink it a little bit slowly because my pouch, believe it or not, doesn't hold 11 mils. It's less than that. But if I drink it slowly, I can get it in. So that's where I'm at. Frustrated with one doctor who I know way more about it than he does. That was kind of frustrating. I probably need to call my bariatric surgeon and have him refer me to maybe an endocrinologist or a GI doctor or somebody that's familiar with weight loss surgery. But anyway, that was my day. That's my update. I guess there's some progress made on some things and not on others. But it's progress. So, anyway, that's my update, and I will talk to you later.